Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Talks Between West and East. I'm your host today, Sylvia Yang. Today we have Frances Valentine. And hi Frances.
Hi.
Well, Frances has been associated with the word innovation ever since I've known it. So before it was the media school and now it's a Mind Lab. Tell us a little bit more about Mind Lab. What is?
So the Mind Lab started in 2013 and it was designed in education, which is my real passion, and education particularly around technology. And so I realised that we have a gap between what our children use technology for in their home life, which is as a consumer. You know, they're very good at watching videos online and using social media, but when it came to creating, they didn't really have an awful lot of understanding of how could they use technology to make movies or code games or create 3D models or 3D print, or even to talk to people across the world, as specialists and other educators. So the Mind Lab was really to say, how do we get schools to get involved with technology? And the facility first started in Auckland, and we launched with the idea that schools could visit, and then we also have private classes for children, mostly between the age of 5 and about 15, but we do extend right up to the final year of high school, so up to 18 years old.
Right, sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it's great. For a lot of them, it's the first time they'll be involved with things like robotics or electronics or things like augmented reality and virtual reality. You know, some of these areas are so new, but actually are really impactful in terms of learning.
So you're the pioneer in this. Mind Lab is basically first of its kind in New Zealand, and there must be some challenges. Tell us one of the most,
Look, I think change in education is a very tough area because we all have a view of education. Parents actually are sometimes our biggest challenge, because if education served you well, if you went through school or perhaps university and did very well, then often that becomes a sort of the standard which you want education to be. So you want your children to have exactly the same experience. But actually, if we took our children and put them through the exact same experience that we as adults had, then actually they would not be prepared for tomorrow's world. So what we find is we work with those who are sort of the self-starters, the parents who are the change agents, the ones who are prepared to say, actually, I know that my children need different skills than me. And often they'll come from the tech sector or the creative sector themselves, and they realise how many times in their career they've had to change direction or learn new software or new tools. And they're great advocates for actually saying back to communities and to parent communities, saying, hey, look, we have to change. You know, there's not about a legacy model of education anymore. It's all about looking forward.
So you've always been in education and innovation. What inspires you to do that?
Look, I have almost never left education because I love the idea that you can actually impact positively on someone's life. And it's a little bit hard to imagine that the day where I don't have the ability to have that aha moment where a child suddenly their eyes light up and say, I get it. And they get it they really believe and understand the concept or the theory, or it could be that they've suddenly worked out that they've got this creativity that they didn't know they had. And I just can't imagine another sector where you get that instant reward and gratification, where it doesn't matter if the student is 5 years old or 55 years old, that just that moment where their confidence raises to a level where they understand that they can make change and they have got the ability. And so it's really, I guess the other half of me is the technology, which is the technology side of me, which is, I just love technology. I love the idea of how effective it can be to drive efficiency, but it also drives connections. And I love that I can have conversations with people across the world today and actually extend my network and knowledge just based upon all this amazing technology that drives us all together. And I think that the combination between education and technology is a really beautiful space.
I'm sure it is. It changes lives, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah.
And education is actually one of New Zealand's largest exports. Do you think there's actually ever any chance or opportunities you'd like to export Mind Lab to China?
Yeah, look, we would be really excited. So I'm in partnership with Unitech, so the Mind Lab has a private-public partnership, and Unitech already have presence in China, and so they are also very keen to have a presence there. I think the challenge we'll have is that the Chinese system is still quite different than the New Zealand system, so it would take some quite enterprising people who value education in a sort of a contemporary sense. But I think that there certainly is going to be a time where the Mind Lab will definitely be in China.
Great. And one last question.
Sure.
Can you just give us 3 words to describe MindLab?
Forward thinking, relevant, and innovative.
That is Frances Valentine, the educator, innovator, and pioneer. I'm your host, Sylvia Yang. This is the Talks Between the West and the East, proudly brought to you by Clean Solutions.